Well, Coach, a successful 2016-2017 season. Here we are coming off of the American Athletic Conference Championships, where we saw the men finish third for the second consecutive season, tying a program best, and the women setting a new program best, finishing third as well.
It was exciting. Both programs, we'd hoped to move up. The women obviously bumped a little bit. Guys, 4 points out of second place was tough, but they fought for it. It was a great meet overall.
Certainly, and I remember you and I talking before the conference championships, and you really remarking on the depth of this team and how that has improved, here over the last few years. And I think that really went to show with the results as this team continues to not only be good at the top, but it continues to grow in strength.
Right, so the rate of our improvement, especially compared to other programs in the conference, is pretty dramatic, and that is definitely due to the depth that we're building. And not just that, though, they're performing and achieving those results. So that's one way how we're able to kind of climb up in the rankings.
Yeah, well, it certainly shows with the rankings and all the records that have been broken this year. It really was a successful season. We saw pool records, program records. It seemed like every week.
Right. I mean, in that meet alone, we broke 14 school records, had 27 beat cuts. They did phenomenal at the end of the year.
And that's exactly the time of year you want everybody to be performing their best. And we're not at the end of the year quite yet, because we'll be seeing Jackie Keire and Chris Bready heading to the NCAA Championships, a great opportunity for them.
Right, so we've got Jackie in her final NCAA appearance starting next week, and she's looking great so far, and I know has some pretty big goals next week. Chris qualifying first time in 7 years for our men's program that we have an NCAA qualifier in his event, obviously breaking his own school record along the way.
And while Jackie and Chris, we've talked about them a lot this year, we've spoken about the depth of the team. Certainly plenty of other swimmers that deserve recognition as well.
Yes, so we had a number of breakout performances at this meet. A lot of our depth coming from our freshman and sophomore class. Louis Hunt, sophomore diver, finishing 2 second places and a 3rd place at conference. So he podiumed in all 3 events. For him, and we'll be competing this weekend at the NCAA zone meet. Dean Selmanovic, a freshman distance swimmer, was one that had a phenomenal meet. Natalie Obando, backstroker, broke the 100 and 200 backstroke school records at the meet. Zach Hostoffer, sophomore breaststroker, broke the men's 100 breaststroke record, finishing 2nd at conference and putting up 2nd best time in school history in the 200 breaststroke. So a lot of our depth coming out of our younger crew.
Certainly a lot to be excited about what we've seen in the pool this year from these teams. I guess taking a look at the big picture, when you look at 2016 and 2017, it seemed like some big steps were made forward as a program, but your thoughts on the season as a whole?
I think as a whole, it was great. They did a great job from start to finish. They performed as a team and as a unified group, and I think that is going to be the biggest impact on how we're going to be able to continue to grow and continue to build next year and work towards that conference championship.